I look very much forward to the inauguration. It's going to be a beautiful event. We have great talent, tremendous talent.
Bob Mueller now probing the foreign donations that went into Donald Trump's inauguration, and that includes money linked to Russia. In a moment, I'm going to get exclusive analysis from the Obama Inaugural Committee president on this new controversy about the first day of the Trump presidency.
These events are going on all over the city. We're having a lot of fun tonight, and I want to tell you what a day it's been. Well, first of all, did you hear the speech today? What was supposed to be rain turned out not to be rain. It was beautiful.
Now, we do know $26 million were routed to a very close friend of Melania Trump's, and that her work only started a few weeks before, so it was well compensated. Meanwhile, key members of the Russian elite attended the inauguration. That includes oligarchs like Viktor Vekselberg, who has been questioned by Mueller's team, and his firm put all that money in Michael Cohen's slush fund. Another executive from Russia, Alexei Repik, got close enough to take these selfies while Trump was speaking and posed with photos with future Trump cabinet members like CIA Chief Mike Pompeo. Back home, though, well, there's the conduit. He would have one-on-ones with none other than Vladimir Putin himself. I'm joined now for the exclusive interview, Steve Kerrigan, President and CEO of Obama's 2013 Inaugural Committee. Thanks for being a part of our coverage on the beat, Steve.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Ari.
The photos look bad, but give us your view, having worked on one of these things. Is this a thing that looks as bad as it looks, or is this a thing where a ton of important people from all over the world flock to the inaugural, no matter whose inaugural it is, because they want to be close to the American president, and that's business as usual?
Sure. Look, the inauguration's a unique thing to sort of American culture, but particularly in running the last two Democratic inaugurals, we are very particular to make sure that the folks who were within arm's reach of President Obama, or even at an event with he or any of the cabinet members or senior members of the administration, that they were vetted carefully and that they made sure that they passed the snuff test. And frankly, with the folks that were at these events and the proximity that they got with their tickets and their access, that wouldn't certainly be something we saw in 2009 or 2013 either.
What do you think of the $26 million going to such a close friend of the Trumps?
It's a great payday, I'll tell you. It's literally, I think it's probably 4.5 times what our entire staff got in 2009 for planning it. That's 450 people. So I think we paid total payroll about $6 million. You're
saying that the $26 million that was wired basically to Melania Trump's friend was more than the entire amount you spent on 450 staff that pulled off your entire inaugural?
Oh, sure. And the actual largest inauguration in history in 2009, where we had 450 people. I think our payroll was about $6.5 million.
Are you just taking a shot at Sean Spicer on the way to, you just fitting that in there?
It's a point of personal pride.
The actual largest, that's not what this segment's about. We're not doing crowd sizes tonight, man. We did that already, and Melissa McCarthy did it. It's done. It's done. But I do want to know if you think then does that show terrible mismanagement and inefficiency, or is there something suspicious there? Because the big question about the 26 mil, and I mentioned this on our show because we like to give credit. Rachel Maddow was one of the first people to really hammer this months ago. Was that looked so large as to be suspicious?
It is. I mean, they either totally mismanaged the $107 million that they raised, or they treated this as it can be treated, frankly, because of the loose transparency requirements around it, as an opportunity to have a slush fund. I mean, this guy got elected president.
To you, it looks like a slush fund.
Or incredibly bad management, but there's not even proof of how they spent they're like 30 million shy in telling us how they spent it. So that 26 million, I know they paid a lot of different production companies to come in and do a lot of different scenarios for the president-elect, but it takes a lot of work to add up to $26 million.
Now, I told you we weren't doing crowd sizes, but the producers,
I didn't say that.
The producers of The Beat, they do have one thing we're going to put on the screen regarding budget sizes, wallet sizes. You mentioned the actual largest. You guys pulled off at $55 million, and it was by many accounts a well-done event. And here it is. They spent $107 million. And I'll tell you what's striking about that from my reporting and then give you the final word. When I covered Donald Trump's campaign, it was notoriously cheap. And the nicest thing you can say about that is he won on a cheap budget, and in business, that's considered high return on investment. The meanest thing you can say is he didn't care about it, and he wasn't necessarily trying to win, and there's been a lot of reporting to that end. What does it tell you that he was not as cheap with the inaugural funds, where they had so much more control sending it back to their friends, as he was during the actual campaign?
Because of that control they had an opportunity to take this really unfettered amount of money that really we just had to, you don't have to do the reporting you have to do with the FEC. And so they're able to skirt all the transparency laws. And so he's able to send everybody to the Trump hotels, pay all of his people huge amounts of money, and really, frankly, pad the pockets of folks who were given to the inaugural fund that didn't give to his campaign. I mean, you said it. He ran a very bare bones campaign outside the Republican tradition. But they made up for it on the back end by giving over $100 million to an inaugural committee for an inauguration that could have been done for maybe 25 or 30 million.
Right. As the old saying goes, make money, money go shopping.